So, okay, I keep seeing this question everywhere right now in comments and DMs and Discord, and it's always some version of the same thing. Is it even worth being an iOS dev anymore when AI can just build apps? And honestly, I've had that thought too, more than once. But then I came across this article from Everton Canario, and yeah, this one actually helped. And yeah, there's some stuff in here that I think every solo dev needs to hear right now. Just real quick, I'm Daniel. I've been grinding in the iOS world for over 8 years now. Started out designing UIs for clients, freelancing, bouncing around, shipping other people's visions while figuring out my own. And then after Dub 25, I just went all in solo, no clients, no safety net. Since then, I've crafted over 15 of my own apps, all Swift UI, all built in public. And honestly, every ounce of energy I've got right now goes into making this solo studio real, not some pile of quick MVPs or AI generated slop, but apps that actually hold up, apps that feel finished. And yeah, I'm sharing every bit of that process on Crafters Lab. It's at crafterslab.dev, and it's not another tutorial graveyard or some AI clone factory. It's my actual home base, built for solo devs who want to use AI like a real teammate, not just mash a button and hope for the best. If you're the type who cares about what you ship, who wants to build with intention and actually level up your craft, yeah, I think you'd feel right at home. And yeah, if you're still hanging on with Patreon, huge thanks for that. But heads up, everything's moved over to crafterslab.dev. That's where the whole crew is now. Come build with us. Okay, so here's where this article really landed for me. Everton starts by talking about vibe coding, right? And, it's kind of wild how fast that term flipped. Like a year ago, vibe coding was this exciting new thing. You describe what you want, the AI spits out code, it runs, you ship it. Sounds amazing, sounds efficient, sounds like the future. But here's the thing, it's basically an insult now. Someone says, oh, that was vibe coded, and what they mean is that app is held together by luck. No structure, no intention, just a pile of generated code that happens to compile. And honestly, I've seen it. I've opened projects where someone clearly just prompted their way through the whole thing and never once stopped to actually understand what was happening under the hood. And it works until it doesn't. One weird edge case, one unexpected input, and the whole house of cards just falls apart. And if you're a solo dev using Claude Code or Cursor every single day, which yeah, I am, this should hit different because there's a real difference between using AI as a tool and just accepting whatever it gives you because it compiles. And I think a lot of us know this deep down, but we don't talk about it enough. You ever have that moment where the agent generates something and it looks right, and you're tempted to just move on, or not review it, not understand the architecture, just ship it? Yeah, that's vibe coding. And Everton nails it here. Someone called it House of Cards code, and I think that's perfect. It looks complete, it seems to work. But the moment you need to debug something or add a feature, you realize there's nothing underneath, no structure, no intention behind it. And for solo devs, this is the trap, right? Because we're the ones under the most pressure to move fast. We don't have a team to catch our mistakes. So the temptation to just let the agent do everything is, I mean, it's real, but that's exactly why you can't. Okay, so, and that brings me to the part that honestly surprised me a little, because Everton makes this argument that I don't hear enough people make. He says, look, Apple rejects a lot of apps. And yeah, that's frustrating. We've all been there, right? You submit something, you wait, you get that rejection email, and you're sitting there like, come on. But here's where I'd actually flip that frustration on its head, because think about what that means. Apple is actively filtering out the low quality stuff, the vibe coded apps that sort of work but crash on edge cases, the half baked slop that someone prompted into existence over a weekend. That stuff doesn't make it through. The house of cards collapses at the review stage, not in front of users. And while other platforms are just racing to the bottom, letting anything through, Apple maintains a standard, and if you meet that standard, you're competing in a smaller, higher quality pool. And Everton says something here that I keep coming back to, that's not a bug, that's a feature. And I think for solo devs, especially, this matters so much because, the anxiety right now is, oh no, everyone can build apps. The App Store is going to be flooded with AI generated garbage. But is it? If Apple's review process is catching the slops, and it is, I've seen the rejection rates, then the flood isn't actually reaching users. The stuff that gets through still has to meet a bar. And here's where the money follows quality thing comes in. Everton points out that iOS users spend more, they retain better, they pay for quality. Despite having a smaller global market share than Android, the App Store generates way more revenue for developers. And that's because the audience is different, right? These are people who chose Apple because of the experience, the design, the feel of everything. They expect premium and they're willing to pay for it. So if you've been on this platform for years, if you understand the human interface guidelines, and not just as rules, but as, like Everton says, a philosophy, then you're already ahead. You've internalized something that no AI agent is going to internalize. And that gap, that's real. That's not going away anytime soon. All right, I want to shift gears for a sec because this is the section that I think every solo dev using coding agents needs to hear. And Everton is really clear about this. AI is good at generating code that compiles. It's decent at a boilerplate. It can speed up certain tasks. Yeah, no argument there. We all know this. We use these tools every day. But the things users actually pay for, the things that make someone download your app and then actually keep it, I can't touch those. And I don't mean that in some hand wavy, feel good way. I mean literally the delightful micro interactions that make an app feel alive, the thoughtful accessibility, the privacy first architecture, that native feel, where the app doesn't just run on iOS, it belongs there. These things require human judgment, they require taste, and honestly, they require caring. And here's where it gets real for solo devs specifically, because when you're the only person on the project, you're the one making every single design decision, every animation curve, every haptic feedback moment, every transition. The AI doesn't know why a button should feel a certain way. It doesn't understand the satisfaction of a well-timed haptic. It can't judge whether an animation feels native or slightly off. You can. And that's not a small thing, like that's everything. I actually have all my design system stuff and Swift UI patterns documented in my playbook in the lab, and it's kind of wild how often I reference that stuff over what the agent suggests, because the agent gives you functional code, but functional isn't the same as crafted. Functional gets you on the App Store, crafted gets you featured, and Everton wraps it up perfectly. Everyone can generate code now, but not everyone can build something worth using. That difference is your edge. And, as someone who's been doing this for 8+ years, who started as a designer before ever writing a line of Swift, yeah, that resonates because the craft was always the point. The tools changed, the frameworks changed, AI showed up, but the thing that makes a great app great hasn't changed at all. It's still taste, it's still intention, it's still caring about the details when nobody's watching. And that right there, that's what no AI is going to cross anytime soon. So, yeah, if you're still here, honestly, you're a legend. And look, I know there's a lot of noise right now, a lot of fear, a lot of is my job even safe anymore energy floating around, but Everton's take here is grounded. It's not hype and it's not cope. It's just real. The vibe coded slop is going to get filtered out. The quality is going to rise to the top. And the devs who actually care about the craft, the ones who internalized the HIG as a philosophy, not just a checklist, those are the ones who win. That's been true for years. And it's even more true now that everyone has access to the same AI tools. And, if you want to go deeper on this, the workflows, the design systems, how to actually use AI without losing the craft, come check out crafterslab.dev. It's not some tutorial dump or another AI content mill. It's honestly just my home base. I built it for solo devs who treat AI like a real teammate and actually care about what they ship. Inside, you get full walkthroughs, actual short video tutorials, a ton of Claude code skills, and real resources you can download and drop straight into your project. Members riff in the comments, ask follow ups, go back and forth. It's not a one-way street. But the real core is the Notion team spaces, my live playbook. Members get a front row seat to my command center, every app I'm building, all the .md files I'm actually using on real projects, the prompt library, the docs I'm writing as I go, and all the automations wired up behind the scenes. You see the whole process, messy drafts and all. There's SwiftBrain too, a full curated Swift and Swift UI library, not some pile of auto-generated filler, real current stuff. Deep dive keynotes and private talks I curated down over the years. The kind of material that never made it into public training data. This is what I actually use to fine-tune my workflows, build custom MCPs for Claude Code, for Cursor, all of it. And I'm always experimenting, always sharing what sticks. And then there's Ops Lab. That's where I build and share all my Notion AI agent instructions, the templates, workflows, automations, all wired up and ready for you to copy, break apart, and rebuild your own way. The whole point is keeping the indie stack connected, so building solo doesn't mean building alone. So, yeah, if you want to get in before things pick up and prices start moving, now's kind of the sweet spot. The crew's still small, super hands-on, and honestly, it feels way more like a behind-the-scenes dev lounge than some massive faceless forum. Would genuinely love to see you in there, swap some war stories, maybe even learn something from what you're shipping next. Keep crafting, keep caring about the details, and don't let anyone tell you that taste doesn't matter anymore. Peace.